welcome to Conversations with the Mod Squad. I'm your host, Kevin, joined by Felix.
What's up?
And we have our guest with us this week, Mike Newman from Level Up with Mike Newman. How's it going today, sir?
It's going great, man. Thanks for having me on. Excited.
Oh, man. Not a problem. Not a problem at all. First question I like to ask our guest is, what is Level Up with Mike Newman, and how did that podcast become available?
Level Up with Mike Newman is a podcast that's directed more towards the people who are just getting into the space and they just want to get good sounding gear, but they want to watch something where they're not getting overwhelmed with the lingo. Like there are other channels out there that are channels that I watch and I love them, and they're great for what they do. But like Podcastage or Julian Krause, these guys are like the Yodas of podcasting and microphones. And sometimes when they start speaking about what makes the microphone great, resonance and frequency and coloration, like when I first started watching podcasts to try and figure out what gear for me to use, I had no idea what they were talking about. I was lost in the weeds. I just wanted a good microphone that sounded good. So I was like, all right, where's that in-between person where they know what they're talking about, but they're wording it in a simpler way?
Yeah, the real man, I would honestly get lost the other way and probably prefer the videos you do, because I'm more of a simple.
Yeah, and that's me too. It's like, and honestly, the more when you start to get out in the real world, when you get away from YouTube and people, oh, you have that podcast, oh, I want to do one. What would you recommend? Oh, well, what's your budget? I've never gotten the question of, well, I can do like $400 on a mic here and a $1,300 on a camera. Every time it's like, man, maybe $50 on a microphone, maybe a webcam. Those are like, in real world, the people I encounter, they're not ready to jump into the deep end right away. They just want to get in the space and see if they like it or not. So it's like, okay, there's not a lot of there wasn't a whole lot of credible channels that I could trust, that I felt comfortable with, that were reviewing. When I started this, 2 years ago, when I decided to try and make the channel, first year was everything not to do. I didn't even post all my videos. I withheld all of them because I was so cringy, or I felt I was cringy. So I didn't post them. But 2 years ago, when I decided I wanted to make a channel, all the people that I really, really liked and trusted weren't reviewing $50 microphones and $75 microphones. And if you did mention, hey, what do you think about the Miano? And they would almost look down on it. And it's like, I know you're looking down on it compared to what you have, but for me, that's all I can get. So just, what's the best mic I can get where, I could still feed my kids this week, because I'm paycheck to paycheck, and my wife doesn't know how much this gear really is, and I'm trying to get into this, and she's not going to be okay if I go out and spend $400 on a microphone for a hobby. And for her, it's like, this is the 5th hobby you've tried this year. You're going to dump another $500 in this. You tried fishing last year and spent $1,000, and now you want to jump into this. So there are just certain people that are limited with that budget. So that's where it came from, just because of my frustration with I still felt like when I was watching videos, there wasn't a whole lot of well-known, credible people reviewing that stuff. And I was like, you know what? I was frustrated. There's got to be more of me out there. So I jumped into it. And that's how it came to be.
I like that. I like that a lot. And to be honest, back 2 to 3 years ago, there wasn't a whole lot of good budget mics out there to begin with anyway.
No. And that was the taboo part, because it was harder then to find a good mic than it is now. Now, there's so many choices. Back then it was like, man, one or two, but I'm just gonna be honest, like the way it looks matters to me. It's a toy. It's like a fishing pole. It's like a motorcycle. It's like, it's just, it's what you see. It's the toy you get to play with. So I want it to look cool.
A little behind the scenes, when we were prepping, we were just talking about how to make it look, bad A, just really, really nice. We were just talking about that. So I get it.
Yeah, I want it to look cool. And it's just like, the cooler they looked, I don't know. I just felt like there was nobody out there willing to really start reviewing them regularly, and I just thought, all right, well, that's going to be my space, because those are my peeps, man. Those are the people I relate to, and
exactly. Exactly. And that, honestly, that's, you know, what made me fall in love with your podcast and a couple others as well. Obscure Mics, for one. I really like Obscure Mics. Yep. But yeah, we're not talking about Obscure Mics. We're talking about Level Up with Mike Newman.
He's a good guy, though. I love that guy.
He really is.
Yeah.
He really is. So what the show is all about is this is a show to get your fans to get to know you a little bit more about you on a personal level, but in a lighthearted way. What we're going to do is Felix is going to start off with some word association questions. I'm going to come in with some questions, and then Felix is going to end it up with some rapid fire. So go ahead and take it away, Felix.
Pressure's on, man.
All right, man. First thing comes to your head.
Lights feel hotter all of a sudden.
Western.
Clint Eastwood.
Hero.
Disappointing. The Show.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I was like, where'd you go with that?
Yeah.
Desire.
Wow. Desire. Man, you are good. This is Desire. One word.
Could be a couple.
Man, Desire. Success.
That's what's up, right? Network.
People.
Storm.
Marriage. After I started this.
Adventure.
Marriage. After I started this.
Rose.
Man, my first reaction, I don't want to gross you guys out. It was I had surgery. Yeah, that surgery is what always comes to mind when I see roses. I had surgery, and I had a bad surgery on my knee, and they had to drain the blood from my knee.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And they were pouring it in the front, and there was almost a dead rose bush out front. It was dying, and it grew to like this beautiful rose bush, and it was from that drain. Like, so I had no idea that blood is something that they. So whenever
bush.
Yeah, I guess something. So every time I hear rose, I'm just thinking, ouch, blood, knee surgery. All right, so sorry. That's more than one word. I'm sorry. I'm breaking the rules already. You're gonna get
no rules. No rules.
Memory.
Gone.
Fear.
Ooh. Failure.
And the last one is cheeseburger.
Diner.
Okay.
Well, I love a good diner.
Yeah. Not the fast food. Cheeseburger, I want to go diner. I want diner.
Yeah. Put a little bacon on it, too.
Oh yeah.
I need some bacon. Throw a burger on there, would you? That's how I think. We're going to get some bacon today. Well, it's after breakfast. All right, well, let's go somewhere and order a bunch of extra bacon and put a burger on it.
There you go. I love it. You can't never go wrong with bacon. I'll put bacon in ice cream, too.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Crumble some
never
up,
thought about it.
Oh, so good. Salty sweet. Oh, so good.
I have to try it. Man.
It's so good.
Everybody knows I'm a bacon slappy around here, so they wouldn't be surprised if I started doing that.
All right, guys. Now I'm going to follow up with a little sort of thought-provoking questions. And to follow up on Felix's cheeseburger question, is a hot dog a sandwich?
No. And I was watching your podcast with Ace. He's right on it. Like, before I could even think the words, he was saying it as I was thinking it. Sandwich to me is top layer, bottom layer of bread with so much stuff in the middle you can't even get your mouth around it. Hot dog to me is like carrying case, I don't know.
Yeah. I agree.
Yeah.
I definitely agree. I agree. And when I think of a hot dog, I think of going to an event, and I love wrestling. Going to a wrestling event is one of my things to do. And the thing about wrestling events was when the wrestler comes out through the curtain, you know exactly who they are and what they're all about. If you had a theme song that played every time you walked into a room, what would it be?
Man, I want the Undertaker's theme song. I'm a pastor. It doesn't matter. I love that. As soon as you hear the dong, the churches in the neighborhood, I'll be walking down around, because I live in an old, it's Delaware. Everything in here is like 200 years old. So they got the old cathedrals in here. 12 o'clock, I hear that bell ring, and I think the Undertaker's coming out of the, out of the bank around the corner. I just love the Undertaker's music. You just know something's going down.
He was one of my favorite wrestlers.
Yeah.
Growing up, and actually, I still watch wrestling. So yeah,
I got out of it when Steve Austin retired and The Rock got out of it, and now I'm getting back into it because of Mark Pugh from the Briscoe brothers, and the brother had passed away. But anyway, he's the AEW champ. Mark is. I know him. Like I'm a pastor at a church. He's one of the guys that goes there.
I saw your picture with him. I'm like,
I post that for you. I was like, man, I know we have some wrestling fans out there. Let's give him a little treat.
Dumb boys, yeah. I'm like, yeah, that's one of the few guys I wouldn't expect to see at a church. I know.
He is the coolest, friendliest. I mean, if you're whatever it is you're going through, man, he's going through it with you. He will. It's just to watch him in person. I can't believe, wow, that is a character on TV, because I hope my kids grow up to be that nice and that friendly. It's just, for someone who has celebrity status, you would never know it. You would never know that he's a wrestler unless someone told you or you had seen it somewhere else. Like, he's the most humble guy I have ever met.
That's cool, man. It's good that people are like that.
Good to hear,
I've met some that are not.
Yeah.
So, yeah. But speaking of songs, what is your guilty pleasure car karaoke song? You know that song that you play, you roll up the windows, turn the radio up, and just start singing. You know that one that's a little bit embarrassing.
It's embarrassing, and it's all right. So it's like the popular person for your show, because I've watched a couple of them now, and they're all the same. And it's not my fault entirely. I have a 10-year-old daughter. And I don't get to control my radio. So she literally, when she gets in there, she boots my phone off the Bluetooth, connects hers, and it is Taylor Swift the whole way home. But it's so catchy.
Yeah, it is.
I don't know the words, so she'll start singing, and we'll get to the traffic light, windows are down, and we're just sitting there just being good. I don't know what it is about that. Yeah, I would never put it on the radio. I was doing like this in the car and stuff, and people are looking at you at the light, and it's like, who is that? I'm like, I don't even know who it is, but now I do. Taylor Swift. But it's just like, that's that one person where I would never put that on my radio, but once you hear it, you can't sit still.
Yeah, you'd love to clown on her, but she's just too good.
She's
good. Too good. I get it.
Yeah.
All right, what is the farthest you've ever traveled from home for vacation?
Oh man, I'm weird where vacations, I like to be close to home. I don't like to go places. Now, I've traveled places. I've gone far, but they were kind of like what Ace was saying, workcations, where I go somewhere, but it ends up being fun. I've been to Jamaica for missions trips and stuff, going down there and building homes for people that are homeless and, stuff like that. And you go there for work, but it's a vacation when you're done. Like, it is so awesome down there, and the people are so nice, and you have fun at night with the construction crew, and you go out, have dinner, and do stuff. So Jamaica's the furthest I've been, but an actual true vacation, I'm in Delaware now, Pennsylvania, I think Florida. I've been to Florida. Yeah.
Oh, that's
Florida
cool.
for vacation.
I'm actually from Florida. Yeah.
Yeah, I have family down there.
Oh, okay.
At Spring Hill and Tampa. Spring Hill and Tampa, yeah.
I was basically in the Tampa area, but like an hour away. So.
Yeah, I think Spring Hill's like an hour or 45 minutes out of Tampa.
Yeah, but that's in miles. If you could travel 10 years to the past or future for 24 hours, which way would you go?
Future, no doubt. I already know what happened in the past. And I would, like Ace was like answering my questions for me. Like, I would go back in time and slap the crap out of myself.
Yes.
So I want to go in the future. So I just want to know, like, all the stuff I'm worried about now. How did it turn out? And just come back and relax. Okay, it didn't work out. Move on to something else. It did work out. It's cheating. Like, not stress. Like, if I knew where I was going to be successful, jump into it, and then I don't have to worry about it. Just have some fun. I know where this is going to go.
Basically, Marty McFly in the almanac.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Or if it's kind of cheating as well. You can find out where you went wrong and course correct on that too. So.
I don't know though. I'm a big believer on the stuff that you messed up on the past is who you are today. And if I were to change that, I'd be a different person today. Like the mistakes I made, and man, there were plenty. I've spent plenty of time in a backseat of a cop car. I didn't grow up in church. I found church after I lived a little. So, you know,
I saw your podcast. Yeah. I know you've been in the back of a cop.
Yeah. Yeah. A few too many times. Yeah. But yeah, if I changed that, I don't know that I would be who I am today. Like that it broke me. You get to the bottom and you realize this isn't working and I got to change. And I needed those things to be, you know, kinder, gentle. You know, I used to never cry. I was a rage machine. I was angry all the time, always looking for fights. And, you know, that's not a good father or a husband. So it's like I needed those things to happen for me to be the husband and the father I am now.
I always look at it this way. You gotta know and go through some bad so you can appreciate and know the good.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Couldn't say it better myself.
How about a little color theory? How would you describe the color purple to a blind man?
I'm trying to think of a different answer because, again, Ace stole my answers. Purple is the color of royalty. You know, in ministry, like he was draped in purple. So I always think of purple. So I would just say to a blind person, I would use it as, you know, but I want to do a different answer. So if I like shifting from that, giving you something fresh, because I don't want to just keep repeating what he said, even though he stole all my stuff. How would I describe? Comfortable. Whenever I see purple, I'm relaxed. It's comfortable. And they don't know what color is, so I don't know how else you would just how it makes me feel.
I mean, technically, you could describe anything, and they wouldn't know it. So
yeah.
I mean,
wall.
If you're being honest about it,
they would know what that is.
Yeah.
There's a wall. Sorry.
No, I get it. What's the funniest thing to ever happen to you that you can legally talk about?
Funniest thing that ever happened to me. Man, there's a whole lot. Funniest thing that ever happened to me that I could talk about. I could talk about anything, but I would say I don't know, because to me it's never funny. But everybody else it's funny. Okay. I'll think about it. The funniest thing that ever happened to me that I could talk about is I was horsing around, and my wife collects country stuff, country chairs, country wicket stuff, all this other stuff. And she had these like little doll chairs, but they're made out of wood, really long screws, but you know. So I thought I'd sit in one day, and I was horsing around. She's like, "Get out of there, you're going to break it." And I wouldn't listen, and I broke it. But the problem was I landed on the screw. So it was...
Ouch.
Yeah. Threaded screw, you know, right to the cheek, and I'm screaming and running, and everybody's trying to chase me to get it out, and I'm not. It's just it was like National Lampoons. Yeah,
a screw in your butt. There's a joke there somewhere.
Yeah, I know. I can't ever say that. And there's some ministry stories in there, and you heard it the podcast where I misspoke a word or two, and yeah, those are embarrassing. You know.
It happens because you don't think about it when you say it, but when you say it, it clicks.
Oh,
like you just said, yeah.
And they remind me all the time. They never forget.
If you were to poll your family and friends, what would they say you're most known for?
Yeah, kind. I'm always. And it's not because they're complimenting me, it's because they're trying to get me to stop, because it almost hurts me. I help people all the time, and it doesn't matter what my limit is, I go beyond that. If there's a need, I fill it. You know, a friend of mine needed help at a business that he was running, and I was already in ministry, so I went to work for him, and he was stressed about hours, so I would work 50 hours for him in HVAC. You know, you're already tired because you're working basically 2 jobs, plus you have kids, and you get up in the morning, you go back, and you're in a 127-degree attic, and you got it's like you're just torturing yourself to the point where I got my autoimmune disease just because I had pushed myself so far with never being able to say no to people that it hurt my body, and now I can't do hardly anything anymore. So yeah, if they would know me, it's I'm a people pleaser to a fault.
I get that. I get that. I mean, I'm not, but I mean, I get that. Yeah. I'm definitely not a people pleaser. I'm kind of the opposite.
I used to not be. I used to be a people, you know, go forget yourself people kind of person.
No, I definitely get it. I'm a Superman guy. I love comics and stuff like that. If you had a superhuman power, what would it be, and would you use it for good or evil?
I'd use it for good. That's a good question. I want to ask you guys, like, is like Scarlet Witch, is that cause she could do a bunch of stuff, right? Or the Phoenix, the Phoenix from X-Men, how the telekinetic stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not asking for a superhero.
I mean, but they also
fly.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, is her superpower?
She has a lot of them.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like,
you want to see Scarlet Witch, basically, but
I don't want to be her.
Powers.
I would like to have that power where she could use her mind to do whatever she wanted. You know.
Oh, so yeah, telepathy. Telepathy. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what
definitely a good one. Yeah. Me, it's teleportation. I hate traffic and everything, so
I should have picked that one. That's true. That's why I moved to Delaware from Detroit. I was so sick and tired of the city and the traffic. I was like, we gotta get out of here. My wife's from Delaware. I was like, let's go there.
Yeah, I definitely get that for sure.
Yep.
Like I said, I'm a superhero guy. I love comics. That's my media of choice. What single piece of media, whether it be book, movie, or TV show, has had the most influence on the person you are today?
Not books. I hate reading. It's got to have pop-up pictures in it for me to read it. Man, I'd probably have to say movies. I like TV shows, but the movies were the ones that mess you up, I think. The TV shows you enjoy, but the movies are just, you walk out of the theater different sometimes when they're good.
Yeah, they stay with you. They stay with you a little bit longer. Yeah.
Yes.
Well, speaking of movies, if your life was a movie, what would the title be, and who would play you?
Oh, man. Well, so that's where I fall back on the TV show. The movie. Adam Sandler, Billy Madison.
I could see that.
I am a kid. My wife has, you know, we have 3 kids, but she says she has 4. You know, I'm the one that gets in the most trouble, plays the most, I'm the one she's got to watch the most.
I'm definitely a big kid. I mean, I got toys in my background. I mean,
yeah,
I'm a kid.
Oh, yeah. It's too boring being an adult. Forget that mess.
It is.
Agreed.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. Adulting is no fun.
Yeah.
One of my favorite movies, though, is Castaway, where he's stranded on a desert island.
Yes.
If you were stranded on a desert island, what 3 items would you take with you, and why?
Is solar powered panel, because I want electricity. Probably a PlayStation for Madden, and a fishing pole.
Ooh. Okay. Gotta eat.
Yeah,
gotta eat, right?
I would never get to eat. I'm a terrible fisherman. I'm a great fisherman. I'm a terrible catcherman.
I like that. I like that because I love fishing too. Yeah, I love that. If you could switch lives for someone with a day, who would it be and why?
Oh, for a day. Probably. Is this real or like superhero?
It could be
superhero. It could
be Superman for a day.
Oh, that'd be nice. I like it. Why not?
Superhero.
Invincible?
Yeah. My dad was he wasn't a huge Superman. My dad was a bodybuilder. And he worked at an elementary school for like 30 years. And he was like the maintenance guy, you know. So he would come in and just like lift tables with one hand. So they called him Superman for 30 years, you know. And then when he passed away, like they put Superman belts and, you know, and all the Superman, and it's like kids that were 30 or people that were 30 years old that used to go to that school were showing up to his funeral. And it was like, look, they were asking, would you mind if I put that in there? I'm like, no, absolutely, go ahead. And when I went up there at the end, his casket was loaded with Superman stuff. So it, like, that's my guy now. Like, he was Superman, awesome. And now, you know, so yeah, I'd be Superman for a day.
I love it. I love it. All right, last 2 questions. What are your 1-year, 5-year, and 10-year goals?
1-year goal is to get to 100 videos on YouTube. My 5-year goal is to be able to have this as my full-time income. Like, I'll always have another, like, ministry's not going away. That's a lifetime thing. But I don't want to, you don't want to depend on that for income. No one becomes a pastor for money. Like, that's not where you go. Well, there are some people, but they're not in it for the ministry. But there are, I want to be able to, this be my income. And I enjoy it, and it's something I can do with my POTS syndrome. So, like, if my health goes worse, I could always make YouTube videos. So for me, 5 years would be, you know, making $50,000, $60,000 a year doing YouTube. That's my 5-year goal. And what was the other one? 10-year?
10-year.
10-year, I'd like to have my button by then. I'd love to have a button. I don't know for what. Like, I know
I'll probably the wall behind you.
And I probably have to pivot to get there, because this niche, it's hard to get there. Like, Tom Buck is a rarity. Most people, it's hard to get to that 100,000 subscriber doing what we do.
It is, and they've been doing it for years, and they've, you know, kind of been ahead of the game. And
yeah,
so
yeah, they had the perfect time, and they were in, like, they exploded when COVID hit, and nobody had anything to do but watch YouTube. And now everybody's back to work, and we're trying to, you know, people are getting burnt out. Like, all the big wigs are starting to get burnt out. So there's voids to fill, but the audience is not the same as far as people watching as it used to be. So it's harder to get the subs at the rate they did.
Very true. Very true. All right, the last question I have for you is, if you took center stage to the world and had everybody by their ear, what would your message be?
Man, treat each other with, I'm not bringing ministry, like this, even if you don't believe in it, man, if you just love each other and forgive each other, forgive, man, forgive. This evil, toxic, cancel culture, all that's got to go, man. People make mistakes. I make mistakes every single day. And I just see all the hate and the negativity and the anger on TV. Like, I can't watch TV anymore. I can't watch half the movies everything is just hate, anger. Just start loving each other, man. Treat each other like they're your brother and your sister. Your brothers and sisters can go out and do stuff that would be horrific, and you'd still love them and forgive them because they're family, but yet somehow your coworker doesn't get that same treatment. You know, or someone in your community. It's like, just treat everybody as if they were your family. Forget about how they treat you. If you just did that, if it was a one-way street, eventually they would start responding, because people just want to be around people that are fun, happy, you know, forgiving. I could make mistakes around you. You're not gonna cast me off. You know, you're my ride or die. Like, if everybody treated everybody like a ride or die, it'd be a better world, I think.
I agree. I full-heartedly believe you, for sure. All right, that is all the questions I have for you. We're going to finish this up with some rapid fire this or that questions. Go ahead, take it away, Felix.
All right.
Here you go, man.
All right, let me stretch. All right, here we go.
Is the term GIF or GIF?
GIF. I used to say GIF, but it's GIF.
Is it Android or Apple?
Apple.
DC or Marvel?
DC.
I think I know the answer to this, but Xbox or PlayStation?
PlayStation. Trauma. Xbox.
Cats or dogs?
I'm cats, but I used to be dogs. I'm cats now. I shifted.
Prince. I went the other way. I was cats and now I'm dogs.
Yeah.
Prince or Michael Jackson?
Good one. Man. Prince.
Text or call?
Text.
Checkers or chess?
Chess.
Books or ebooks?
Books.
Soft or hard tacos?
Soft.
That was the last one.
I'm passionate about that one. I can't eat a hard taco. If someone, hey man, we're gonna get you tacos, and they hand me hard shell, I won't even eat it. I'll take the stuff out of it.
Really?
I'll take the stuff out of it and just like, even with my I'll eat it with my hands before I chew the shell. I don't know why.
Is it a
Soft
texture
taco-
thing, or?
I think it's texture, because I grew up on soft shell. It just feels like I'm eating plastic with it. It just feels wrong.
Soft
I got you,
tacos more is a burrito though, no?
And I love burritos. So to me, a taco is a baby burrito.
There you go.
I like that.
All right, and to wrap this thing all up, Mike, do you have anything coming up that you'd like to promote? The floor is yours.
I got some, well, just my Level Up podcast. It's going to be Friday. We're going to do it regularly on Fridays. Clay's going to, I asked Clay to be, to join me more often. I invited him to be a co-host just because, you know, I feel like we connect a little bit. We can feed off each other, and it's a space he wants to get into, and it's a change of pace that I enjoy. Like, I still want to do my gear reviews, but I want my podcast to be something different, and that's his niche, like the talking. So I feel like, you know what, that's a good unwinder for me to just kind of take a breath and just remember this is fun. You know, there's people, there's community. So I'm getting serious into the podcast now. So Friday nights at 8 o'clock, we'll be doing podcasts, and it's going to be same as the Mod Squad Network here, conversations with creators and the behind the scenes, getting to know the person behind the videos, because I think that's important, because I think when it comes to what we do, you can burn out on it, or the stuff may, the audience may shift. So if you decide to pivot, it'd be nice to know, like, I want to watch your stuff. That's how I am with everybody. My first reason I watch a show is not because of what you're reviewing. It's the person. I want to spend time with Kevin. When you're doing your reviews, I want to spend time watching your reviews. Yeah, but I want to spend some time with Kevin. What are we talking about today, Kevin? Oh, we're talking about the Mod 5.
The person,
you know? Yeah.
Like, personally, rather than what they're. Yeah, I get what you're saying.
Yeah, and then if you decide one day, I'm going to shift. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to start reviewing Kleenex boxes for doctor's offices. Well, all right, I'm watching because I wasn't watching for the mic review. I was watching Kevin.
Yeah.
So I think that's what really cool about what we do is it's kind of like, it gets, like you said, getting to know the creator. And then when the pivot happens, and a lot of them pivot, or not a lot, but some people pivot, the community goes with you. You're going to lose some people, because they still want to watch the gear, but the people who just like you are going to want to follow you. And I think this is important to do.
I see that within our community as well. You know, the people who want to watch us, it don't really matter what we put out. They love watching what we do. So it's a great thing to have. And yeah, it's great to build upon that as a creator as well, because you don't want to get burned out doing the same thing.
Exactly. Right. Exactly. So yeah, just love to have you guys, or, you know, join the podcast. We do the same thing. Comments, questions. I love the chat. I focus on the chat more than I have topics, but I've never gotten through all my questions and stuff, because I let the chat have their time to ask the questions and get to know the creator. Because I've noticed this with me, when there are certain channels that I love that I would comment all the time and got nothing but crickets. And then there are certain people where every single time I asked questions, they answered them, even when I wasn't a member. Then that's how I become a member. Like, if you're gonna invest in me, I'll invest in you. Like, you want my money? Why do you deserve my money? Why should I invest in you? Well, you don't care, but you never answered my questions. I'm not going to become a member here.
Totally get it.
No, I definitely get that. Yeah, man.
So yeah, that's it.
All right, that's awesome. I'll be there. You know, I've been on your past 2, I believe. So yeah, I enjoy them, even though they're 3 hours long. I enjoy them. So.
I have a quick question though, real quick. Since you've been watching, I'm struggling because the last 2 accidentally like went from an hour to 3 hours, like Joe Rogan stuff. You know, like, I always ask, like, how does Joe Rogan go 3? Who talks for 3 hours? And then it's like my last 2 were over 3 hours. I feel like it's too long, but people don't want to let go, and it's like, where's that happy medium at? Because I don't know.
I find it, if you still have the energy to do it, and you have people that have the energy watching you, giving you feedback in the chat, then keep going. It's one of those things, like if I start getting burnout when I'm talking, that's when I know to start winding it down.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you still have the energy and your guest still has the energy, keep it going. Yeah.
Yeah, this is like accidental, and it just keeps happening two in a row, and I don't know what to do.
Our lives are an hour, but if we're getting the engagement and we're going back and forth with the chat, because we do that too, and we stay on a little bit longer. I mean,
it's all about what your energy and your chat's energy level is at that point.
Yeah.
So
gotcha.
All right, guys, that does it for this episode of Conversations with the Mod Squad. I want to thank Mr. Mike Newman for joining us. So for Mike and Felix, I am Kevin saying, if I don't see you again, thank you for being a friend.
See ya.